What's up, everybody? Apex Nation, it is time. We are live. That's right. It is time to announce that Joe has lost his virginity. I'm just kidding. No, it is time for us to go over the team reveal. I am that big dick daddy from Cincinnati, Alpha Heel, and with me is Zephyr. What's going on, brother?
Hey, buddy. How you doing, Alf?
Good, man. Good, man. Are you hype?
Man, I'm ready to go.
Are you hype, bro?
I'm ready to go. I'm excited for Joe.
Awesome, man.
Poor guy.
I know, we never give him any love, man. We always give him shit about watching the women's shows. But, hey, you know what? If it, maybe that'll help him in his love life be able to get that woman, so he can watch the Bachelor and One Tree Hill and, Gossip Girls, man. He's got to have somebody to watch that, right?
Well, yeah, and it looks like Phil's already stepped up. He said that he's already lost his virginity to Phil, so that's a good little twist to this plot.
I know, man. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on tonight, man. You thought it was just going to be a team reveal, man. We were revealing sexuality in this show, man. So
that's right.
So, yeah, man, what I want to talk about, we've got 13 people in the chat right now. We got 14 people in the chat right now. We've got a lot of people. We've got a lot of anxious owners, right? They want to know, and this is why it's so exciting, I think, Zep, is that this is going to be the team that... Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hank.
Oh. Did you lose me?
No, I can hear... Oh, shit.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you.
All right. So, let me just make sure... Okay, I want to make sure you guys can hear me. My sound went off on our little playback music, so I got to figure out what's going on there. Whenever you're doing a team reveal like this, it's like you might have some issues. So don't know what's going on, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. It's gonna be a good show. We got a lot of interesting selections today. I feel like us as a staff did a very good job on getting guys the teams that they wanted. Not everyone got the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick on their list, but wouldn't you agree that, most genuinely that these guys did get some sort of team on their list?
Oh, no doubt. I think, as from what I can see, I think most of us got within our top 3 picks. Some dropped below that, but I mean that's what that's what you can expect when you have the favorites across the league. So, but overall, I think it was a great selection. It was good variety, and I think everyone's going to be happy with their teams.
I totally agree. And, this is the time of the show when we start going over all the teams, and my DMs start to blow up. People telling me I did such a crummy-ass job. I don't want that team. So, yeah, man. But, hey, one thing I do want to say, you guys, I got to say, man, I am stoked about our wait list. I normally, I like our wait list, but man, these guys, there's about 4 guys that I really want to get in this league, and I hate that I couldn't get all 4 in. But with that, keep in mind, there's plenty of time before new Madden drops. There's guys that may not like their team and say, I'm out of here. There's guys that stuff that might come up in their life. Keep patient, man. Be patient. Ask Zep. It is worth it in the end, wouldn't you say?
Oh, it's definitely worth it. And, I know that you got a little announcement up your sleeve as far as the, the team selections. If you don't like it, we're going to have an opportunity to potentially get some trades in before the season even gets here. So.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So what we are going to do, if you do not like your team, okay, we will have, before the season starts, we are going to allow you, we'll probably make a chat and put in their team, team... Basically, like a team block, trade block. So basically, you'll have the opportunity to trade that team. If you don't like it, then we'll allow you to trade your team. So
yeah, some Bill O'Brien moves.
Exactly. So if you say, hey man, I know that this guy's shopping his team. Hey, I'll offer you this team. We'll allow that one-time courtesy before the season starts. So that's the announcement that we want to go over, guys. If you are stuck with a team that you don't like, just put it in a trade block. And we are going to go over, who by each team. And this is going to be a little bit more special, I think, than what we had with the reboot. The graphics kind of look the same. But in the reboot, I just said, here's the division. Here's all 4 guys in that division. I am going to start to go over each team individually. So there will be a black box over that owner's name, and we will unveil that individually. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. We are going in the East. We are going to the AFC East. The first team out here is the Patriots. The New England Patriots, the Tom Brady-less Patriots. But wouldn't you think that this is a pretty decent team to start with? I mean, they've got some pieces on that team.
And I would imagine the cap is going to be absolutely ridiculous on that team. So should be some great options, especially around the gate. First season, second season is going to be a lot of fun for the Patriots.
Exactly. So let's, without further ado, your first team reveal for the 2021 Madden season for the Apex Madden League. The owner is Heavy D and the boys. That's right. Heavy. You are going to New England and you're going to run the Patriots for this cycle.
That'll be a good team, Heavy. I think you'll enjoy that, bud.
And the thing about Heavy is, man, he actually played really well. At the time he was there in the Madden, he was very sim. He took a Vikings team that, I believe he took him to the playoffs. If not in the playoffs, he was close to it. So the second team we are going to announce is the Buffalo Bills. Now, I can tell you from looking at everyone's list, this was a very popular team. Everybody wanted the Buffalo Bills. And Al has been telling and shitting on B. Timmons like, hey, man, I'm getting the Bills. You ain't getting them. I know a lot of guys had them number 1 on their list. But without further ado, let's talk about who's going to Buffalo. And that will be none other than BM Timmons, 27. That's right. Timmons, you get your Buffalo Bills for the Madden 21 cycle.
Yeah, and I think he's probably one of the only 2 Buffalo fans out there. So this was definitely a good a good spot for Timmons to be there. I think that's his home team, so it should be a lot of fun.
I think so as well, and I think that he did really well with them. I mean, he built them up to a perennial powerhouse in that AFC. I played him several times, and he is just an absolute beast. So, yeah, that is going to be awesome. So
and what Timmons also doesn't understand is that because he gets the Bills, we also get to lower Josh Allen's throwing power down to like 82. So this should be a great year for him.
Oh, I thought we were going to. Lower it to the 67, but
Oh, that's even better. Let's do it.
Yeah. So anyway, the next team is the New York Jets. I know this owner did not put the Jets on there. We were actually talking in staff chat. I don't think the Jets are as bad as people put them out to be. They're going to have 2 first-round picks in the 21 season. They're going to have 2 first-round picks in the 22 season. And they do have a pretty studly defensive line to work with and a pretty decent offense with Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fun team. It's going to be a rebuilding team, just pretty much like every single Madden. But I think that the Jets, I took my chance with the Jets. Of course, I'm not a very good player, but they were a lot of fun those first couple seasons to build, and I think that it'll be a fun team. It'll be interesting to see how they play it. Without
further ado, the new Jets owner for the Madden 21 cycle is none other than player Yan. That's right, Ryan. Bills fan in real life. Maybe he will be able to take his frustration out on B. Timmons 2 times a year. He is going to New York and running the New York Jets.
That's going to be fun for you. So.
Definitely be fun. So our next and last team in the AFC East, we have the Miami Dolphins. In my opinion, probably one of the most fun rebuilds of the entire cycle, just because of the 3 first-round picks that they had and their young pieces going into the new season here. Now, before we get into that, let's take a look at their team profile here. Want to talk a little bit about Miami and tell you what they got here. And if you look at the list here, I've got 3 players on the screen. One is Tua Tagovailoa. Perfect quarterback. He's got that speed. He's got the nice arm strength. He's going to be a player that you build around for the future, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And, I think very similar to what Maserati did with Jalen Hurts in Philly, this Madden 20 run that we just did. I think the Dolphins can do the same thing with Tua. And I think that it's one of those things where you can definitely build off of it, start him off slow and then really, really build him throughout the entire season. So.
Yeah, and they actually got probably one of the best free agents in the offseason. They were the sweepstake winners of Byron Jones, the stud cornerback from Dallas. I know that makes Joe cry a little bit, but they also got Devontae Parker, so they are no joke. I do like this team. So let's go ahead and tell you who is going to be going to Miami, and that is none other than H-Will 06. H-Will 06 is going to be taking over the Miami Dolphins. Tell me what you think about this.
I really like it. I think that team's gonna fit H-Will. I think he'll build them really nicely, and I think that really, with him going to Miami, I think that rounds up a very, very good AFC East all the way around. So
I do too. H-Will actually had them as his fourth team. So I mean, we were able to get him, a team that he actually, kind of likes. So, very good start to the team reveal. So if you're just tuning in, we are doing the Apex team reveal for the Madden 21 cycle. 4 owners have been announced, and that's everyone in the AFC East. So, any surprises there? I mean, what do you think about this division overall? I mean, do you think that it's going to be the division to contend with? You think it's going to be one guy that just runs away with it, or what? What do you think here?
I think it's going to be a good division. I think it'll be competitive. You've got 2 or 3 teams that are really 2 teams that are rebuild mode. You got one team that's stacked this year, and you got another team that's essentially rebuild as well. I think it'll be a good, pretty good AFC East. And if I had to guess, I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be Timmis's team or Timmis's division. At least early on. So.
I would say, yeah, so I agree early on, but I really do like H-Will. Like, because he actually beat Timmis a couple times, I believe. So because he was a Patriot, so he had some really good battles there. But do not sleep on Heavy, and really don't even sleep on Player Yan. He does really good in draft when he is able to manage those picks. I don't think he's going to be great early on out of the gate. I do think that there's going to be more competition later in the cycle, like you said. I think maybe early in the cycle, Timmis may run away with it, but those guys can build teams pretty well. So let's keep going with the show. We're going to talk about the AFC North. That's right. That's the next division that we're going to, the AFC North. You got the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals. That's right. Cleveland Browns are the first team that we're going to talk about here. In my opinion, probably one of the best teams in the cycle. I mean, bar none, you've got the young players. You've got Mayfield. You've got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That backfield is just awesome. You've got Odell Beckham and Landry. But now they signed Austin Hooper in the offseason, and you got David Njoku. Plus, they got Conklin in the free agency for that right tackle spot, and then they drafted the guy from Alabama. His name is escaping me, but he's the left tackle. So now you've shored up your offensive line, and then you got Myles Garrett on defense. You've got Ward in the corner. You got Greedy, Williams. I mean, Mac. You've got a ton of good pieces. In my opinion, one of the best teams going into this cycle.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, Cleveland is one of those teams where, you want to say that they could potentially be in rebuild mode, but I really think that you've got a lot of pieces that you could trade away as, good value there. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun team, and it'd be interesting to see who this owner.
Well, we're about to talk about it. We are going to tell you who is going to be running the Cleveland Browns. It is none other than Smurf, Papa Smurf. M4AOA3 Smurf. I don't know what that stands for. Medea Smurf. But it's Smurf. That's right. One of the best owners. He was actually one of the winners of the Madden 21 game that I gave away. Just a great, solid owner. Doesn't win a ton of games, but I feel like with a team like this, he could definitely be in contention.
Oh, no doubt. And, I had the luxury of playing him a couple times, and, I saw some great things out of Smurf. And, he's he's definitely one of those guys that could sneak up on you at any point and give you a nice little run at any game. So and add the Browns to it, I think he's got a great team to work with.
I do too, and I think that if he can manage to keep a lot of those players, you're going to see a pretty good. We kind of look at it here. You got Odell Beckham, you got Baker Mayfield, you got Myles Garrett. Those are the players that you're going to build around, and they've got a decent cap. So I don't think it's like they've got like this horrible cap that they can't manage. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it. But let's go back to the screen here. The next team we have is the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's not, I hate to, break the mood here. There's not a lot of anticipation here. Let's go ahead and bring it out. That's right. J Cork 87 is getting his Pittsburgh Steelers. Not, Jay Cork is a great owner, and he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. We actually, if you looked at the list, there was nobody else that had the Steelers really high up there. So for me, it was a no-brainer. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a no-brainer for Jay Cork to take the Steelers. And, that team is, I don't think they had a first-round pick this year. So it's going to be, it's one of those things where, what do you look at as far as from a team perspective? Do you trade to try to get a first-round pick this year? What are your options? So, but if anybody knows the Steelers and what to do, it would be Jay Cork.
I do. I agree with you on that. Now, I will tell you a very interesting way, and I believe that Aries is a really good team builder anyway, but, one thing he did, he traded the offensive line. He traded the old line, and they had a lot of big contracts, and he was able to gather picks. It'd be interesting to see if Jay Cork goes that same route, or if he just keeps them and tries to build through the draft with what he has. So, you've got, it is what it is, so... But, let's, now, here, we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens, very, obviously, a very well, I think there was 4 people that wanted them, is their number 1 pick, and they were very, it's because they have young players, Lamar Jackson, we're still up in the air about the abilities and everything, but if we're going to have X-Factor abilities on there, having Lamar Jackson is a game changer. I think this is going to shock a lot of people. What do you think? You already know. What do you think?
I already know, and yes, it'll definitely shock a lot of people. And I think that, I think whoever this owner is going to get a lot of grief up front. But,
yeah, I do too.
I can see it coming, so let's just go ahead.
Here we go. That's right, me, the Alpha Hill 7. I am moving to Baltimore, to that shithole city. I'm just kidding. I've got some really good friends in Baltimore. But yeah, we're going to Baltimore, and I am taking over the Ravens. Yeah, I think you're right, man. I mean, obvious choice was for me to be Denver, but I played with them in the reboot, man, and I had a lot of fun with them. But I have to tell you, man, and it wasn't even Lamar Jackson that really got me, persuaded me. It was the defense. I love a good defense, and having like 3 corners over 83. They just drafted Patrick Queen. You got Earl Thomas still in the safety. You got a really decent defensive line. You got some good linebackers. So I really love that defense. I love cold weather teams, and I love those dark unis. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. And to be honest with you, I could have lived without Lamar Jackson. I really like him, and I'm going to probably try to run some sort of, read option. But, that was it for me, man. I'd tell you, though, I went back and forth. Like, I was not set on this team. You can attest to that. I was like, man, I don't know who to take. So,
well, I think even up to a couple of days ago, you were talking about even another switch. So,
yeah,
yes, I mean it's and you still have that opportunity to trade if something else.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to, like I've taken them obviously, but maybe if I feel like I do not even do bad. I'm a 3-4 defense guy, and I really love their defense. And I'll be honest with you, I love their defense more than anyone else. I can build pass rushers and defensive line, but having that secondary is what really sold it for me. So without further ado, let me quit talking about myself. We're going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals, and this is probably not a huge surprise either, just because he was the only one that had him high on his list. I believe he had him 3rd. So let's just talk about it for a second. It is Bondage 1990. That's right. Feline Soul is going to go back to Cincinnati. He was the Madden 20 Bengals, and now he is the Madden 21 Bengals. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good team. It's a good Madden team, especially with Joe Burrow coming in. It gives you a good young quarterback to start off with. You don't have to worry about the fire crotch Andy Dalton. I just think that it gives you a team to work with, and I'm sure they're probably going to have some pretty decent cap space too. So I think it's a great team for Bondage to take, and to continue to run with the Bengals, and I think he'll do a great job with them.
I do too, and the funny thing about them is their owner never likes to trade picks, like in real life. But I really like T. Higgins. Like they have Burrows, you have John Ross. I would probably trade away AJ Green myself, but you've got so many weapons on offense, and you actually got a pretty fast defense. So yeah, that'll be a pretty good team going into the Madden 21 cycle. So we've got 2 division down. 6 to go. So we so with that division, I know you had said earlier, like, you're going to get grief. I think I'll get grief just because of maybe who was in there with me, and that's totally plausible, but I'll be honest with you, not many people had the Bengals on their list, and I just think it's, and I could be trading out of this again too, so, but...
Yeah, well, don't sleep on Jay Cork in this division. I think that
absolutely, he's actually beat me twice,
Yeah, he can definitely surprise you, and I think that if anybody's going to give you a run in that division, it'll be him, and look for Smurf to come up too. I mean, Smurf is showing good improvements.
So Phil says, trade him if you can live without him. I tell you what, if we don't make any crazy rules that allow you not to trade, I will trade Lamar Jackson just to show you that. I love Lamar Jackson. I love his arm strength, but that's not what sold me on them. So I could live without him. If I could get someone back the truck up, I would do that. So, but anyway, we're going to the AFC South. That's the next division that we're going to talk about here. We've got the Texans, the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans. I'll tell you, man. I mean, you and I know who is going where. This is a pretty damn good division.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one all year long. So
not only because they've got good owners, but because the teams are really good. I mean, I know Texans, Bill O'Brien got wasted and trade all his picks, but you still got, Watson and Watt, and you still got pieces to build around. So I really do think that the entire division is going to be really good. So let's get into that. Your first owner for the Texans, and this is a new guy. This is one of our new guys that's coming into the Madden 21 cycle. None other than your Mamza. One of my favorite owners. I actually play with him in a couple other leagues. The dude is hilarious, and he's actually pretty good at Madden.
He is good, and I've actually played with him as well in another league, and he's a solid owner. I think that he can definitely compete. He's going to have to bring his A game, but he can definitely do it. So this is a great team. I think he's been the Texans before, so it should be pretty fun to see. Yeah,
and he had him pretty high on his list. Again, I think it was maybe 5th or 6th. But I think it's a good spot for him. I mean, he could have went worse, but I think because he had them on his list is why, people say, well, why did I get this team? Why did I get this team? Keep in mind, if you went through and picked 1 through 10, very popular teams, there's a good chance that you didn't get those guys. So,
exactly.
He put some really key teams on there that not everybody else was putting. So that could have been one of the reasons here. So let's go into the Jaguars here. Another one that's not a big surprise, but we want to talk about it here, and that's Stank Pit 97. One of my favorite owners from the Madden 20 cycle here. Just a good guy, always plays his game, never complains. There's not many complaints about him. He's going back to Jacksonville. He's going to be those Jaguars again.
Yeah, and that does not surprise me at all. And I think that he's very knowledgeable about the Jaguars team, and I think he'll do a great job with this team as well, just like he did in Madden 20. So.
The thing about this team is, again, you kind of talk about the Dolphins. They had some first-round picks, and you think about it, man. They've still got Josh Allen, the guy from Kentucky, the outside linebacker. They've got Yannick, who they would have to sign to a long-year deal, but he would be another player you could trade. And then Clausen, they just drafted from LSU. But then they also got C.J. Henderson from Florida. That defense is young and stout. I like this team.
They're going to be good. They will be good.
I think so, too. I'm not a big... what's the quarterback's name? The mustache guy? Minshew. I'm not a big Minshew fan. I think he's short, doesn't have great arm power. But, if he rolls with him, that'll be a good team. I mean, if it was me, I'd try to get someone else. But whatever. Anyway, we're going
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
Lamar
right.
Jackson.
He's got the capital to do it. So let's go to the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, and another team that a lot of guys had high on their boards. And it's because they have a young team who they have a good GM in real life that knows how to get those draft picks.
Yes, they do. And this team is just stacked. I don't know. Colts are going to be a lot of fun in Madden 21. And, I think they got Trey Burton at tight end. They got,
they
get Melvin Gordon too? And
they got Rivers.
Somewhere else.
He went to Denver. So, but they did get Rivers. And I'll tell you, though, the one thing I like about them is the quarterback they got from Washington, Easton. He's got like 92 throw power. It's easy to build accuracy, but it's so hard to build throw power. If it was me, I'd roll with. Now I know how this owner likes to play, so he's probably not going to do this, but I'd roll with Rivers and then use Eason. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go with this. So before I spoil it, it is Dr. C. Jeff 25. That's right. He is actually staying in the AFC South. He is moving from Tennessee, and he is going to Indianapolis. He is going to run the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes, and he's a great owner. He was very good in Madden 20, and I don't expect anything less from him in Madden 21. He'll be very pleased with that team, and I think that he's going to make the most of it and run very well with them.
Yeah, and that's why I said with Rivers, he's so slow, and you know how Jeff likes to play. So right off the rip, he's going to look for a quarterback, but. I like the way he plays, man. He's got that really cool, offense, like that read option offense. And I believe, so Jeff said he does not, well, that's kind of surprising. Jeff actually had them first on his list, I believe. So I don't know why he's saying that he wanted to trade them.
He hates the unis.
I don't know. I'm surprised. I believe that this was the number 1 or number 2 pick from Jeff. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah,
I would imagine it was top 3 for a lot of people.
I mean, I don't know, but he probably will be able to get out of Indianapolis if he wants to do that. So, so let's talk about the last owner here. This is another really great owner, and he is actually going to be taking over a very popular team, in my opinion, and that's the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans and Maserati 2016 actually playing in the Super Bowl. So he is actually going to be taking over Derrick Henry in that powerful armbar and the Tennessee Titans. So that is going to be a very good division here.
Yes, it will.
I think this is actually one of the didn't you say that this is like one of the best divisions that you had?
Oh, no doubt. And I think between Maserati and Jeff, and even even Stank in your mind's eye, I mean, any of them can win on any given day. So this will be a good division to watch, and there's going to be some very competitive matchups there.
Yeah. So Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback. AJ Brown, they gave Tannehill a bunch of money when that could be harmful to the cap, but Tannehill's a decent quarterback. You got A.J. Brown and then Derrick Henry, so you got a really good young offense, and that should be a offense that basically runs the show down there in the South for years to come. So, yeah, we are, that is the next division. We are actually going to be talking about the last AFC team, or the last AFC division, and that is going to be the AFC West. We are talking about the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. The Broncos are first, and obviously I'm not taking the Broncos, so it's going to be interesting to see who is going to get the Denver Broncos. Now, were you surprised that I did not take the Denver Broncos?
I was very surprised, but I know that you like to explore. You like it. There are certain things in the team that you like, and I think that you're very into experiencing teams outside of the Broncos. So was I surprised? Yeah, a little bit, but it is alpha, so
yeah,
you just never know.
Well, and I could tell you the Broncos were high on my list. I like KJ Hamler's speed. I always like the speedy wide receivers so I can take it deep. I like Drew Lock, but I feel like they butchered him. He's got a really strong arm in real life, but he's only got an 88 arm strength. it was really close. I would say that, like, if I could have flipped a coin, it was that close. So, but we are going to announce the owner of the Broncos, and that is none other than another new guy, and that's Monteith. Monteith, a great owner. He actually went to the Super Bowl and actually won it a couple times in the MSR. He is actually coming to us from MSR. Great owner, and I believe that he is going to be a very tough owner in that division.
Well, yeah, and he's got a great team to start with too, and and I think that I know who else is in this division, and it'll definitely be a fun division for him. So
I think so too, man. He's got those weapons. Yeah, I mean, he's got Philip Lindsay, Gordon, Noah Fant, and actually out that tight end from Missouri. He's got really fast speed, so he's got a really good offense. Probably want to trade or maybe make some moves that get younger on defense, but that's going to be a good team to play with. So let's take a look at the next team here. This is the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you got two players that, like, right off the bat, you look at and say you cannot replicate this. As Patrick Mahomes and his 98 arm strength, and then you got 99 speed. What's that? Child beater. What's his name? Oh, Tyreek Hill. Sorry.
Yes.
His name dropped for a second. But you got Hardman too, man. You got a lot of good pieces. The only thing that I will say about this is it could be difficult because of the cap situation. But we'll see how Madden handles that. So D-Real is actually going to... I just ruined that. D-Real is actually going to be taking over the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is going to be a very good team. D-Real did really well with Lamar Jackson, and he likes to throw it deep. This is going to be very tough for that division.
It will be, and I think that one of the things with D-Real is that he ran the ball extremely well too, and that'll be kind of the question mark I think for this Chiefs team is that running back position. But if anybody that can figure it out, it'll be D-Real, and I think he'll do a great job with this team.
I think so too. So let's talk about the Oakland Raiders. You've got another player that with speed that sticks out. Is Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs, very fast player, but they've got a good young team. They're moving to Vegas. They've got awesome uniforms. This is going to you guys are going to love this. This is a great owner going to Oakland. None other than our Mr. Witness 36. He is going to be taking over the Oakland Raiders. That's right. Oakland Raiders being controlled by Mr. Witness. Mr. Witness is a great owner, and he knows how to build his team. I believe that this team has a lot of strengths that plays in his favor.
Oh, absolutely. And with that speed, I think that Witness will love that. And I'm excited to see some of the matchups that come from those three teams that were announced. And I think that it'll be a very tough, grinding division just from those three. So it's gonna be fun.
I think so too. And the last team we're going to talk about before we announce the owner, this is going to be this was actually a pretty popular team as well. A lot of people wanted this team, and I guess for good reason. This is the Los Angeles Chargers. They've got Derwin James, strong safety, Joey Bosa, defensive end, Keenan Allen is wide receiver. They got awesome uniforms. Who doesn't love those, like, 1980s Dan Fouts Charger uniform?
They're great.
Yeah, they are great. And I believe we are going to announce it. And that is right. Zephyr, you are taking over the Los Angeles Chargers. Tell me a little bit about what went into your decision to make that selection.
Well, for me, it was Justin Herbert. I'm excited to have a rookie quarterback, and he's got his attributes that right out the gate are going to be pretty stout. He's got 92 throw power, and I know that his short accuracy is 83, medium 78, deep is 76. But he's got a lot to work with, and he kind of brings about a new run game, I guess, for me. I've never really used a quarterback that runs a lot, so this is going to be a new adventure for me. But just that team overall with the defense and that offense. I've got a lot of building on the offensive line to do, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, but they did sign the guy from the Packers.
Carolina, Bakhtiari, and they got Trey Turner.
Oh yeah, Burt Turner. Yeah, so they got some pieces on their offensive line. So I wouldn't sleep on that. So a great choice. I mean, I know you were excited about that.
Yeah, not Bakhtiari, but Beluga.
Beluga was was the player that was that they signed in the offseason. So that's going to be a very good squad. And again, the uniforms are just so tight. So, all right, so we are going into the last half of the show here, and we are going to talk about the next division. And that's right, that is the NFC East. These are some big teams here. You've got the Giants, the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, and the Cowboys and the Eagles. Wow.
You can't say Redskins.
I can say whatever the hell I want. I run this league. Fuck you all. The Redskins. I should have put a Redskins logo, but it is the Washington football team. So, but no, yeah. I mean, we actually have some good owners in here. Let's go over and talk about the Giants here, and I hope that this person really did mean to pick the Giants, because now I feel bad about the whole Doc thing. But I swear, I'll go back in and show him. The form did say the Colts #1, so I don't know. But anyway, the owner that we're getting revealed, the first owner in the NFC that's Pepper NY. He is getting his New York Giants. I'll be honest with you. He put this team at #1 again, unless there was a glitch. He put him #1, and he was making people think he wanted nothing to do with the Giants this cycle.
Sneaky guy, but I think this will be fun for him. And he's a good owner, and I think that he can do a lot of work with the Giants. And he's got some work to do, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I think that he'll enjoy that.
Yeah,
anybody with Barkley can make a.
But
can
man,
make an impact.
They've got some really good pieces there. I like Dexter Lawrence. I like DeAndre Baker before he held up that poker game. But I mean, he should still be on the game there, right? So, they've got some really good pieces on defense. They've got Lorenzo Carter, I believe, from Georgia. So they've got some really good pieces. I really like that. But that's who he wanted, so that's who he's going to roll with. So we're going to get into the second team here, the Washington football team. This owner is a kind of a newer owner. I mean, I thought you were going to go with the Washington football team, but man, they've got some really awesome pieces on this team. Probably one of my favorite teams, just from that defensive standpoint. That's what I really like, and this team has that. I mean, they've got a lot of pieces here. They've got Montez Sweat. They've got Jonathan Allen. They got Deron Payne. Then they just got my boy from Ohio State, pick number 2. And they actually signed some corners, so this is going to be a good team. So let's go ahead and talk about it. It's none other than probably Drunk. And this guy he's tough, man. He's a tough owner.
Yes, and I think that he is, I think we had Washington as the Super Bowl champion the first run in Madden 20, and gosh, we might have it again. So he's a great owner. I think he can do a lot of work with the Washington team. So yeah. So and I know he kind of was telling me, man. I mean, you love hearing from owners that are like, dude, I'll take anyone. I don't care. Just give me anyone. And I'm like, you got to put a list together. But I got him. I think there was like number 4 on his list or number 3 or something. But he just good owner, man. I mean, like if I had 32 guys that were like, dude, just give me whatever, that'd be awesome. But I understand people don't want to play with certain teams, and I'm like that. So, but yeah, man, that's who he's rolling with. And now getting into the Cowboys, this is not a shock to you. This is not a shock to me. Yes, that's right. It's our Gilmore girl herself, Billy Hoyle Joe, rolling with them Cowboys. I'll tell you, the only bad thing about Joe is that he is a Cowboys fan. I mean, the guy can cook, and he's got some great pictures out there in the food.
Oh man, those wings, dude!
Go check it out. But yeah, I mean, he's as close to gay as you can get with the Cowboys, so it's a great fit for him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not a big surprise, but man, he's one of the coolest guys around. I mean,
he is.
I mean, there's no other team I'd want to get for him. I know he probably would have took other teams just to make everybody happy. He's just a good guy all around. But yeah, that's who he's rolling with. So before we announce who the Eagles are, let's talk a little bit about the Eagles. They have a really good roster, in my opinion. They have Carson Wentz at quarterback, so he is, people are going to, like, shit on him, like, I don't like Carson Wentz. Then they got Jalen Hurts, man. That's a very popular Madden player, I think.
It is, and I mean, and the other thing it does give this owner is some flexibility. I mean, do you want to roll with Carson Wentz, or do you want to roll with Hurts? Do you want to have a quarterback by committee? I mean, you've got a lot of options. You could trade one. I mean, it's great value. So.
I think the only thing that hurt is his throw power. It's only like 84. But dude,
Right.
like, why not throw him in there like a Taysom Hill or something, man? I keep both. If it was me, I keep both of them. But they also got Fletcher Cox. They got Zach Ertz. They got that powerful offensive line. If we do have abilities, they've got 3 offensive linemen that have abilities. They got cool ass uniforms. I love those blacks. And then they play in the cold. Just a great team in my opinion. So let's talk about who the owner is going to be, and that is none other than Aries BV. That's right. He is taking over the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great fit for him. I think he'll enjoy the Eagles, and I mean he's, Ayers is one of those guys that he'll just kind of take whoever's there. But I was glad to see him get the Eagles, and I think that he will do really well with them. So
I think so too, and he's the type of guy that will, he loves making moves, man. He'll trade everyone away and then end up, getting a ton of picks out of it. Great, one of the best team builders in my opinion. I mean, wouldn't you think?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt.
All right, so we are moving right along here. Now it's time to go up to the north. That's right, the frozen tundra. We are talking the Green Bay Packers, the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, where it's always cold. We've got a decent division here, and we got some great owners here. What do you look for in this team reveal?
Well, I think we're going to see some familiar faces there. We're going to see a couple new faces, in this division. But I think it'll be no surprise on 2 of them. So I think we're in for a good division again. I think this year.
Yeah, I think so as well. Let's talk about the Packers for a second here. I mean, I used them when we first originally started. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Devontae Adams at wide receiver, and Jair Alexander. Man, I love Jair Alexander, my favorite cornerback in the game. But they've also got a really beastly defensive line, man. They got Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. They got Burke, who's a middle linebacker that's really fast. They've got some really good safeties. They've got, just everything. And then you got Jordan Love in the wing, man, waiting for his chance. So that's going to be a very popular team to use. So let's talk about it. You say familiar face. I say Jeho0530. That's right. He's taking over his Green Bay Packers. Not a big shock to anybody, but he's taking over this team. Yeah,
and I think the big question mark for him is, does he trade Aaron Rodgers? I mean, if you realistically think about it, we could have some big name quarterbacks on the block this first season.
I believe
Aaron Rodgers,
so too.
Lamar Jackson.
Now, he actually traded Jordan Love in our reboot, but I don't know if he's going to do that, knowing that Rodgers comes with a really hefty price tag. Now, I traded him when I had him, but man, I could see the difference between Rodgers and what I had after that. So I'm just letting you know, man. Like, don't always crap on these older quarterbacks, especially if we end up with the abilities on. He's got some really cool abilities.
Yeah,
so
he really does.
All right. Yeah. We are going to Minnesota. We are talking about the Vikings. This is a newer owner, but he's actually one of my up-and-coming owners. He's a really good owner, and he does all the right things. He was actually in our league for a bit and then kind of fizzled out, but came back strong as he rejoined. That's none other than BLZJ. He is taking over the Minnesota Vikings.
And that is a fun team to take over. I think with the running back is Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
I think you've got a lot of potential there. I know they lost Stephon Diggs, but you still have Adam Thielen. I mean, you've got some weapons on offense, but that defense is what's enjoy the first couple of seasons of that older defense, but they are a lot of fun.
It really is
a fun team.
I mean, they've got, they really did. I love Justin Jefferson. I love their draft. They actually probably have one of the best overall drafts in my opinion, but that'll be a fun team. They got some cool uniforms. They play outside now. So yeah, let's go to Chicago. The very historic team, very historic organization. To my surprise, there wasn't a lot of guys that put the Chicago Bears on there. I actually had them in my top 5 that I wanted to pick. So that could be a team maybe that I trade for because I really like them. But, maybe because they're getting a little older on defense. But let's talk about it. It is none other than Loaded Lunatic. He is going to be going to Chicago and taking over the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and I do like this team, and I think the Loaded will enjoy it as well. I mean, that defense is their force to be reckoned with Khalil Mack, and then you've got Roquan Smith in the middle, and then of course that defensive line is pretty stout too, with Akeem Hicks and Eddie Goldman, and then of course your secondary is just they're a lot of fun with Eddie Jackson and Kyle Fuller. So
yep,
that'll be a fun defensive team. The offense needs some work. Allen Robinson's there, of course. But the big question mark is what do you do at quarterback with Trubisky and Nick Foles? It's going to be tough.
It is.
It's a tough call.
It is. I mean, if it's me, I would probably use Trubisky, ship out, keep Foles maybe for a year and then ship both of them out and then draft somebody. I mean, that's probably the logical choice, but we'll see what Loaded wants to do with it. But it's fun, I mean, he gets to build them the way he wants, so. All right, let's talk about the Lions, the Detroit Lions. You would have thought the Detroit Lions, nobody wants them. We were making jokes about, hey, you're getting the Lions, you're getting the Lions. But this guy loved the Lions, and I'm not kidding you. He was one of the owners I talked about. Do not put every team as the Detroit Lions. He did, and that's none other than your boy, Urbana-Style84. He is taking over the Detroit Lions. He is your boy, so talk about his thought process going into this.
He is he's a ride or die Lions fan, and it's funny to hear him complain about him every year, but I mean when you put him in with the Lions and Madden, he can really do some work, and I think that he's got a new team to build off of and I know he loves the new corner coming in, so he's a tried and true Lions fan, and he treats that team like that. You won't see him trading a whole lot. When he does trade, it's very little pieces, but he's a great owner to have for that Lions team. He
really is, man. And we always talk about it, but I love having guys like as their favorite team because the way they trade, they don't me being a Ravens, like not even being a Ravens fan, I couldn't care less about Lamar Jackson being on there. But a true Ravens fan would never even think about trading Lamar Jackson or some of those names. So be able to get Urbana, his favorite team, is awesome. I am excited about that. There was actually a couple people that did want the Lions, but it wasn't very the list wasn't high. So it was kind of easy for him to be able to get them. So we are going down south. That's right, the dirty South. We are going to be talking about the NFC South. We have the Atlanta Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with the ageless Tom Brady. So we've got some really good teams here. So before I announce it, what do you think about this division?
It's one of those things where I think that it's a division where you have, I mean, everyone's going to pick the Bucs just because of that team. But I'll tell you, the Panthers had a sneaky good draft, and I think that they're getting younger.
They did.
And they're gonna be solid.
I'm surprised, dude. They were actually on my list too. They were actually on my top 5 list that I was thinking about taking because of not even just McCaffrey, man, but Brian Burns and Mateos from Penn State. I love pass rushers, so I really like that team. But let's talk about the Falcons for a second. The Falcons actually have some really good pieces here. They've got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan, and now they got Todd Gurley. So this is going to be a very interesting team going forward. Plus, they got those new uniforms, which I think are just absolute fire.
Yeah, and this Falcons team is a high-powered offensive team, but, I mean, their defense with Deion Jones is going to be scary good too. So they're a very balanced team, but I think that this owner, which I don't think anyone will be surprised about, is going to continue to love this team and do well. So. Right.
Well, one thing I got to mention though, it kind of made me chuckle. I'm reading through the chat. Eat More Chicken, who's not a part of the league, but he's a great part of the community. Said no Arm Teddy. That's right, man. I'm with you on that. I like Teddy Bridgewater, but they really done him wrong, man. I would probably if I kept him, I would keep him. But with his arm power, they got him, man. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. So, but he is right. He picked the owner. That's right. None other than Phil03, one of our staff members. He does a great job with our scheduling. Yeah, I mean, he knows his team well. He knows how to build with them, and he's not afraid to make moves.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And Phil's a great owner, and he's done tremendous work within, not only with the Falcons, but within the Apex community as well. He's a great guy, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Nobody in the it's funny, man. Nobody in the chat's surprised about it. They're like, no way, Phil. All right, so let's talk about the Panthers. The Panthers, we were just talking about them, giving them praise. We are going to be giving the Panthers to Wyrock 1. That's right, the old Bears owner. came over from another league that I play with him in. Great owner. He is going to be taking over the Panthers. He got his team. I believe that, he actually had them as his 5th team.
Okay.
A first in his heart.
Yeah, and he's going to love running with Christian McCaffrey. I know he ran pretty heavy with as the Bears, and he's going to be a good owner for the Panthers there. So it'll be fun.
Hey, we got some guys on the trade want to trade already, so we'll see how that goes.
I know. Well, of course, it's the Jets guy.
Yeah, so. I get it, man. I hated doing it, man, but just like nobody put him on there. So, so we are going to the Saints, and this guy had him as his number 1 pick, and it's none other than number 1 ex-draft pick. Great owner, great Madden player. He's got some stick skills. He's going to be taking over Drew Brees in that dead arm.
That dead arm, but he's going to be an accurate arm. So, but
oh man, no doubt.
If he sticks to the typical Saints offense, let's just throw it to Kamara. Let's hand it off to Kamara. Let's throw it on a slant to Michael Thomas. I mean, he'll still be able to make a good high-powered offense for the Saints. So.
I agree, and I think that the Saints I see him use him in another league, and he's so good with them. He just knows them so well. To me, utilizes, and Kamara is very underrated in Madden. People don't like him, but man, he's got like so many. He's got the abilities. He's got the one that does the route running and stuff. He knows how to utilize him. I watch him play with him. That's going to be a very dangerous team that he's taken over, and he knows how to use them.
Yeah, and I don't think that Madden does a good job as far as the speed rating for Kamara. I think that, only having him, what is the speed? I think it's usually around the 89 or 90. It's one of those things where, the guy is, he when he's actually on the field playing, he runs a lot faster than that. So
I believe so, yeah. So let's talk about the Buccaneers. We talk about Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Chris Scott. Man, I'm getting hard just talking about this team. This is how good they are. Plus, they got awesome uniforms. And they had a good draft, too, man. They got Tristan Wirf out of Iowa, who was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Fell right down to their pick. They got their left tackle of the future. This owner knows them very well, and that's because he's them right now. And that's right. That's Coherent Killer. He is staying in Tampa Bay. He bought a nice big house down there. He's right next to a strip club. He doesn't want to leave that strip club, so he said, hey, man, can you get me the Buccaneers? I want to stay down here.
Yeah, and he's going to be a great owner for the Bucs and knows them very well. So, yeah, this rounds out a very tough division, to be honest with you. And man. I think early on I would say that the Bucs is my favorite, but I would look for Y-Rock and Phil and even one draft pick to even come up and surprise some people. Maybe by season 2 or 3. So.
Dude, Phil can hang with these better owners, man. Like. Phil loses games that he shouldn't, but dude, like I watch him, he can hang with these better owners, so don't sleep on him. So you've got that division. It's going to be very fun to watch, but, right now on paper, man, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It could be, really anything. So, but we got one more division to talk about. This is going to be kind of a controversial division because a lot of guys are like, man, I want this team. But that's going to be none other than the NFC West. And you've got the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Cardinals. Man, what a bunch of good young teams in that division.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is, with the right owners, this can be a very fun division. And, I think we did a good job picking that out. So it'll be... it's going to be good. I think that, the Seattle team is definitely going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, the 49ers team is already stacked, and John Lynch, or I guess it's John Lynch, is the GM there, but he continues to do an incredible job with that organization. So
yeah, let's talk about them for a second. They have Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, and don't sleep on him. He's a decent quarterback, man. I mean, he does have a big contract, but he's a decent quarterback. They got Nick Bosa, George Kittle, the best tight end in the game. I mean, this is probably one of the best, and this was actually number 2 on my list because I thought about taking them. It was between them and the Ravens. So, this is going to be a fun team to use. So let's talk about the owner here. This is not a big shock to anybody. We all kind of knew this guy was going to take him. That's none other than Big Al Ferreira, our boy, the content master himself, going to San Francisco. He'll fit right in in San Francisco, he'll be wearing those big tight Daisy Duke shorts. He'll have his rainbow flag out there, man. He'd fit right in. I'm just kidding now. Don't get mad.
Oh, yeah. Continue to make content for us, Al. Don't get mad at us.
Right. He's like, fuck these guys.
He's going to do great with them.
I'll be honest with you, man. At every team that I've seen him use, he does the best with the 49ers. He very good at running the ball, and that's what they excel at.
Yeah, and he did pretty good with the Colts too. So,
yep.
I think that this will be another increase in talent for him, and I think he's going.
I think so too.
He's going to raise some eyebrows. I think.
Now, this next team, I do apologize to Seahawks 3726. I know you said you wanted the Seahawks, but unfortunately, we're not able to get them for you. Just kidding. You got your Seahawks. I'm sure it wasn't too dramatic because there was only 3 teams left, and I doubt that he put the Rams and the Cardinals on his list. So, yes, you can stop drinking and beating your puppy. You are getting your Seattle Seahawks, Jamal Adams, Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. Do I need to keep going?
All you got to say is DK Metcalf. And the dude's a Madden freak, so just keep throwing the ball to him. You'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is a great team. And just a good Madden team. They're not going to have first-round picks, but, he can get those picks back. I mean, he's a good owner. He knows how to team build, so it's not going to be too tough for him. So,
yeah.
Congrats on getting your Seahawks. We try to put everybody in their favorite team or whatnot, so I'm glad you were able to get them. Got 2 teams left. The Rams. So let's talk about the Rams. This is actually a new owner to us. He is from the PlayStation 4 community, but one of my favorite guys. He's going to fit in so well here. Just got a great attitude, great player. That is right. The name doesn't ring a bell to you. It's because he goes by La Migre in the chat, but it's Pinch Steve, and that's right. I actually played with him on the PlayStation 4, and we actually remember each other. Great guy. Lives in Vegas. But man, he's got Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. And he's got some of the Littleton, and he's got some of the Buchan. Like, some of these guys are just really good that you can build with.
Yeah, I mean, even with Cooper Kupp, Cooper Kupp, you throw it to him, he's going to catch it. He's a great wide receiver to have in Madden. Jared Goff, I think that Jared Goff can be a great Madden quarterback. I'm not too big on him in real life, but he's one of those quarterbacks that can be sneaky good with the right owner, so.
I believe so as well. And they actually did pretty good in drafts, so they got some pieces around them. So, but our last team, this is no shock. You got one owner left, and everybody knew he was going to get him. That's right, MSPA Mo. If you don't know Mo, man, he has his own league, MSPA, great league out there. Check him out if you can. But he does his content, man. Like, he will stream every single game, and I always find it funny when guys like go on cam or have their headset on when they're playing their game. I cannot do that because I just use so many cuss words. But Mo is the nicest guy when he is playing. He's like, he will get completely shit on by Madden, and he'll be like, "Great play, man. Great." I sit there and envy that because I cannot do that. I am so throwing my shit, and my wife's telling me to be quiet before she divorces me. Dude, Mo is the nicest guy. He does not even worry about that. But yeah, man, I could not see the Cardinals going to anyone else. Tell me about these Cardinals.
Wow, they're good. With that addition of DeAndre Hopkins is just it's ridiculous. And even with, Kenyon Drake is a sneaky good running back too. So, Mo, I'm sorry, we're not going to give you an increase on Kyler Murray. I know he's only a 77 overall, but you'll get him to 92 in 2 seasons. So,
I will increase his height from 4'6" to 4'8". Okay,
that's very generous of you.
Very generous.
So
yeah,
he's got a good team to work with.
He does. So that concludes our Madden 21 selection show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Something fun I want to do. I know a lot of other leagues do things differently. They have drafts. I feel personally that team selections are a little bit better because we try to place guys, teams that they want. We can't always make that happen. But instead of putting together a draft list, I feel like drafts kind of go haywire at times. You have to pick on the spot. I feel like selections actually give us time to really put together something. So, thanks for tuning in, and thank you for being in the booth with me here, Zeph. Do you have anything to add before we go here?
No, I mean, I think we have a great community still building. I think that
Yep.
we're going to be one of the premier Madden leagues in entire Madden community. So I appreciate all you guys just sticking with us and making this one of the best around. So it's a lot of fun to be around you guys.
Absolutely. And tomorrow is our Super Bowl between BM Timus and Maserati, the Eagles. So do not miss that game.
Who do you got? Who do you got on that one?
I got Timus, man. I just know him. I know his gameplay. I know him better. I think he knows how to. He's really good. I mean, I personally think it's Timus. Who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I like Maserati. I mean, it's gonna be a very close game.
Wow.
I think Maserati can do it. If he can stop that passing game of Timus, I think he'll be just fine.
I think you could be right. I mean, I think it's going to be fun to watch either way. So I mean, they were trying to play the other day, but Timus and his 56K internet, he's using like a net zero CD from like back in 1994 or something. He's not like
it's AOL dial-up.
Yeah, AOL dial-up. He's up in the mountains and shit near Ted Kaczynski. But no, seriously though, like it'll be a very good game tomorrow night. And then let's kind of talk real quick before we go about what's to come here. So we've got really just the Super Bowl. We're going to pretty much end it on that. A lot of guys are going to keep the league going. A lot of us need breaks. We just need to kind of clear our head. But we are obviously, we have some stuff coming up here. So when the game actually comes out, we're going to do a 32-man tournament with our league, with the Apex League. And the winner of that is going to get a video game of their choice or Xbox Gold for 1 year. I'm going to pay for that myself. I am not going to be in the tournament. So one of the new guys are going to be able to take over my Ravens and actually play. So we'll figure out who that's going to be. But yeah, the 32-man tournament's going to come kind of kick things off. And then it's going to be kind of quiet for a little bit because we don't like to start the league off right off the bat. We like for the big patch to come out. I don't want to start it because I don't want any bugs in that Madden league. I've seen a lot of leagues that'll just start it right off the rip. Then they've got to restart it because, Madden, EA sends out a patch that screws everything up. Plus, we want to test things. We want to test quarter links. We want to test, not really sliders, maybe rules. Should we implement any? Should we take any out? We also want to, which is going to be big for us, it's going to be, we're going to have a, we got to figure out the abilities thing, right? I mean, do we want the abilities? Do we not want the abilities? Now, let me ask you, Zeph, I mean, before we go, if you were to say right now, gun to your head, you want abilities on or off, what do you say?
Well, I mean, I'm right now. I'm going to say on, just simply because they do have some new abilities out there that Madden released, and as Madden always says, it's they're new and improved, and I think that's going to be a great part of the test is to see how they really are and help make some decisions. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I'd love to see them on.
Yeah, so me too, man. I really want to use them because I feel like they could be good. It can't be arcadey, and that's what it was. If we do have them, we're going to limit each team. Each team is not going to be able to have 32 players with abilities, so we're going to limit them. But it's going to be kind of fun. It'll be let you to kind of build your team the way you want. Maybe you want a X-Factor safety and an X-Factor pass rusher. Well, build it that way. If you want quarterback, it's kind of like All-Pro Football, if you guys remember that, where you had like 2 gold players, 4 or 5 silver, and then a bunch of bronze. We'll do it that way if we do it. It will be fun. The other thing I want to talk about is we are going to golf comes out. So 2K has a golf game coming out. It was very successful last year. We had a league called No Filter Golf that we did, and we're going to do that again. We run a complete tour. Now this is going to be more relaxed. Play as you will. We'll have points and everything. We'll probably have 2 tournaments a week, but you play your leisure, play whenever you want. You don't have to play at certain times. It'll just be kind of a change up for guys. We'll pull guys in from outside the community to come in just to see how Apex runs. But that's kind of what to look for in the next coming weeks. I'll probably do another, commish state of the league. But really, after the Super Bowl tomorrow night, things are going to calm down for a while. So with that being said, you have anything else you want to add, Zeph?
No, just hang on tight, stay active in the chat, talk around, and if you're interested in trading your team, definitely start those talks, and we'll we can set up. Use the other thing too is if you guys are interested once the game does and helping test things out, let us know.
Yep.
We'll be happy to get you in and just kind of bring you into the whole testing experience and just kind of see what we can see. I mean, I'm always down to hear everyone's opinions and to see what they think. So it's a lot of.
Yeah.
While everything's slowing down, it's going to pick back up quickly. So definitely as much help as we can get, the better off we'll be when we start.
Yep, and I'm working on some stuff too. I want to work on, I may, pay somebody to do, a more professional looking logo. We'll maybe try to get some more shows in. I'm working on an overlay for our, Apex Prime. We got a lot of cool stuff going on, fellas. I really do appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys didn't get too upset and drunk like Doc did. Next time, don't put Colts as your number one team. I swear I'm going to show him that. But anyway, I'll make the chat. What's that?
Doc and Jets, you guys hook up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, man, Jets are not a bad team. People are sleeping on them. But anyway, we'll make a chat in the Apex chat about trading teams. You guys will be able to put them in there and talk about it. If two guys agree, yep, I want this team, he wants this team, shake hands, we'll make it happen. You'll get that team. Just as a courtesy, again, I want to make sure that you guys enjoy this season. This Apex is your guys' league. I'm just the one that runs it. So anyway, with that being said, we are out of here. Thanks a lot, guys, and you guys have a great night.